Well, 2020 is halfway over, which still leaves a lot that could happen, I guess. And it's been a crazy ride. Anyway, we're here with June's pickups. Hope everybody has a great 4th of July when it comes around here the end of the week, or weekend, I should say. A couple interesting things. It's been another slow month, but I got a couple here that I'm excited about. I am still waiting on some imports to show up at my door. I was hoping they would be here a couple days ago, and they haven't. But to start out with, we're going to hit with Vita. We have a Soul Sacrifice Delta. This is the English Asian version. You can see on the back side it is in English. This is one that I actually was looking for a very long time. I was trying to find it used, and then Play Asia said that they were going to do reprints, and I went on right away and snagged it, because this is not easy to find at all. We did get the original Soul Sacrifice here in the West, and that's still available. You can probably find it through GameStop or whatever. It's a fairly cheap game. Delta was released digitally only here in the US, but it is an updated version that has a little better tweaks to it and an overall better experience, and people still play it online. So that's kind of a fun little thing. And another one to kind of mark off my Asian English releases. Even though I'm not going for a full set of those, I've already missed a couple that are no longer in print. And I have another one on the way as well that may be here later in July. The next one, it's kind of hard to believe that in 2020 we're still getting Dreamcast games. I don't know if people have seen Adam Korlick, who's a big Dreamcast buff. He's actually out of the Chicago area and he travels abroad. Kind of crazy. He's got a much larger Dreamcast collection than I'll ever have. A lot of hard to find stuff that's kind of nearly impossible to get now. But this one, this is Xenocrisis. This is a twin stick shooter. This was a Kickstarter, and there was a Genesis. I think there actually still may be a Genesis version available. This comes in 3 flavors. This is the American version. There's also the Japanese and the PAL type covers. On the backside, I mean, it looks just like a American Dreamcast game, other than the fact that instead of normally on the side here it would say Dreamcast, it has the name of the company that released it. And from what I've seen in gameplay, it looks like a really fun little twin stick shooter with a kind of a horror theme to it, kind of aliens type stuff. But I would recommend checking that one out. That is still available on their website if anybody is interested in something like that. A big release that came out in June, at the end of June actually, just a couple weeks ago, a port from a Vita game originally that they upscaled. Quite honestly, aside from the better textures, I still feel it's better on the Vita. And that is Ys Memory of Celceta. I do have the collector's edition for this for the Vita, but I wanted it on the PS4 just because of the higher frame rate. Instead of running at 30, this one runs at 60. The textures are a little bit better, but there's still some wonkiness about it. It's not the best Ys. I played a little bit of it, and I never really got as far in it as as I have the Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana. I kind of enjoyed that one a little bit better. This one is not too bad. I would say it's kind of mediocre for a Ys game. It's not the greatest, but it's not horrible. You'd still have a fun time with it. It's still kind of a fun story. And I know with these games, like right now, I can't find Dana of Lacrimosa or Lacrimosa of Dana on PS4 easily. It's already out of print, and it's pretty expensive still on even Amazon and on the secondhand market especially. So it's kind of crazy how limited these Ys games get, and how fast they sell out, and how they really hold a lot of their value. But the games are actually really fun. The last 2 items I have aren't necessarily video games, but they are video game related. First one is I joined up with Udon's Pin Club. Udon does a lot of the Street Fighter, Darkstalkers comic books, as well as like sketchbooks, and some of the artists like Alvin Lee and all that had a hand in the OVAs, the Street Fighter movie, the Darkstalkers movie. And a while back, I ended up getting a bunch of the blind bags for the pins, but I was short 4 of them for the entire set. Well, now I'm short 3. They had a little promotion that said, hey, we've got 3 pins available. They will not be blind. You'll know exactly what you're getting. And one of the three happens to be one that I was missing, and that is Morgan. So now I have Morgan to join for that, and it's just a very thick enamel pin. Well, not even enamel. I forgot what the type of metal it was that they called, but one down and three more to go. I think I'm missing Victor, Lord Raptor, and Felicia. I'm hoping that Udon comes around with some more of those pins available that you could buy separately. They're not cheap, I'll tell you that. Next up, usually around every year I try to go to Combo Breaker, which is the big fighting game tournament that's in Chicago. And unfortunately it was canceled this year, just like everything else. And I didn't go last year because I didn't have really the time to go because I was still working nights. And it was just really rough for me to be able to only sleep 4 hours, drive down to Chicago, hang out there, and then drive all the way back. I wasn't going to be able to do that. But they opened up temporarily a little shop for people to support them, which had like sweatshirts, hats, and little collectibles and stuff. And one of the collectibles they had was a name your own price token. And I threw a couple bucks at each, and I ended up getting 2. But these are legit tokens that can be used in any arcade. But it has Combo Breaker here on the front. I don't know if my camera is going to really focus. I have a horrible camera. So you see there on the front it's Combo Breaker, and on the back side it says, "In us we trust." Getting the light there. But yeah, I ended up snagging 2 of those. Legit tokens, which are kind of cool. And they do work. I did run it through one of my mech machines. But I just thought it was cool because it was super cheap, only a couple dollars. You could throw, I think a minimum it was $1, and you can go up from there whatever you wanted. So I threw a couple at each, and they finally arrived. And yeah, I just thought it was cool to kind of to help support them, because hopefully next year I'll be able to go again. I'm even maybe considering joining the Darkstalkers tournament that they have, which is a small side tournament. I have a friend that joins. He joined 2 years ago when they held it, and I think he did it the year before too. And he's one of my friends that I used to actually train with, which, to be honest, my skills is not high level by any means, but I'm good enough to be able to hold my own against some pretty top players, which I'm proud of. I've never really won against a lot of them, but I can usually hold them back pretty good and give them kind of make them sweat a little bit at least, which for me is an achievement, and I'm kind of proud about that. But so yeah, quick, easy, that's about it. Like I said, it was a very slow month, nothing really going on. Still in the process of packing up and trying to find a new place to move to. Now that things have kind of slowed down, I feel it's time to get out of this place, get to something a little bit more that fits my needs. Gives me a place for the arcades and some extra room that I can kind of grow into, or just be someplace for the next couple of years again until I decide to either move out of state or wherever. But yeah, that's it for now, guys. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.